Hello everyone, and welcome back to learning the Trigify fundamentals. Today we're going to be going over probably one of the most important and underrated features in the entirety of the Trigify platform, and that is giving your agents or training your agents to have a specific memory from some of the knowledge that you'll be feeding it. Now, let's dive in and first of all understand, what does this look like? Well, when we think about agents, there are two bits of information that we can give an agent. The first is we can feed it a prompt, and then the other is we can feed it context. And you probably all heard about prompts, and you've obviously been using prompts when you were using ChatGPT or Claude or whatever LLM that you use. But context is probably a little bit less talked about. In context, there's a specific thing called context engineering, which is, have you ever had it where you ask an agent to do something and you're like, it's just not quite the way that I want it to do that, or the way that it sounds, or the way that it feels, or the way that it responds? Well, you can actually give the agent more context, not through a form of a prompt, because if a prompt gets too long, the output starts to vary. But we can feed it certain documentation. We can feed it certain tables and databases that provides the agent with knowledge. And so what we're going to be doing in the Trigify platform is we obviously have all of the social posts coming in, where we can have an agent start to query these posts. An example might be summarize this post and let me know their content style, or summarize this feature request, or make note of how they're structuring the post, or make note of the video and what it talks about, whatever it is. You can then save that agent response into a database via a save to database node that we have inside of the workflow system. This then starts to create what we call a knowledge bank or a memory for the agent. And then we can use this particular memory when it comes to using agents going forward. So how does this work in principle? Let's dive into it. So first of all, I've got a Twitter search set up, and I'm monitoring anytime a keyword or anytime cursor gets mentioned in relation to a feature request. So what I'm going to do here is, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and select the model. I'm going to use 4.5, and I'm going to say, analyze this post and let me know the feature request that this person is talking about in less than 10 words. And then we're going to give it the text. There we go. And so at the moment, I'm not going to attach it with any context, aka the memory here. I'm just going to hit add to workflow. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to search for save for database. And then I'm actually going to input the output from the sentiment agent. And I'm just going to wrap this in a bracket here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new table. And this is called feature requests cursor. And I'm going to create table there. And there we go. And then add to workflow. Okay, perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and run and test this particular workflow. So as you'll see, I was talking about, does Cursor have a live share feature like VS Code? Just like I can host a session and have a colleague work in the same workspace. I clearly can't find it ever since I installed it. So there we go. So we have the agent. The agent's output was live share feature for collaborative workspace hosting. And then we have saved to the database. So now we have gone and just updated the agent's memory. So what we then could do is we could go build another workflow off the top of this to then use that memory. But in this case, I'm actually just going to add an agent into here as well. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select 4.5. I'm going to feed it the table. And I'm going to say, provide me with a summary, no longer than 50 words, on the feature requests my users are asking for. And then here I'm going to be quite specific. Use the knowledge tool, knowledge or memory tool to get your answers for this. It should come from here, nowhere else. So I'm just like, you don't necessarily have to do this, to be totally honest. I just like to be very specific and make sure that it's going to use that. And then that should be everything. So add to workflow. No variables are detected. This basically means, hey, you haven't added any custom variables. Is that okay? In this case, yes. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do a different one. And I'm going to test this. Here we go. So now it's running again. The agent is obviously analyzing the feature request. So we can see it's actually said it's not a feature request on this specific one, which is cool because it's not. It's saving that information into the database. What you could do is you could have a true or false or an if variable after this to only save feature requests into the database. That's something that you should definitely do. And I'll do a video going over a particular workflow on that. And then here you go. Here you have the information coming back. Based on the workflow memory, users are requesting a live share feature for collaborative workspace hosting, similar to VS Code's functionality that allows hosting sessions where colleagues can work together in the same workspace environment. Unbelievably powerful. So this is just one example of using feature requests. In theory, you could save every post that you ever get into a database, and then you could have the agent run in a separate workflow, run once a week to then send you a report. So you could say, hey, give me a report of all of the mentions this week. What have they been focusing on? Who are they? What have they been talking about? You could have it where we could create a content agent from it. So it learns from influencers and how they're posting, the style of posting. It can have so many different things, which could be really, really cool to build out these incredible content agents or trained agents as a result, just by simply saving things to a database and using this protocol as a result.